Okay. So, oh, Denise is here. There she is. We cannot hear you,
And no, we
Denise.
still cannot hear you.
Okay, we're also going live into the California Professional Pet Groomers Association because Terry could not do her live stream yesterday. And this was the best I could do to give her a live stream was to add her on to this. So if you're wondering why we're in the California page today, that would be why. So we're going to talk about.
I thought it was because we were fancy.
Yeah.
We are now like countrywide and junk.
Nationwide.
No, from coast to coast.
Is always wide.
So poor Denise, we still can't hear her. So I don't know what to say. Hey, Kayla.
She's gonna keep trying, and since she's not the one who ever cusses on the live stream, it will come back on just as she's uttering the loudest, most frustrated "What the" ever.
Right.
That's when your mic will start working. So start cussing and fiddling with stuff.
Okay, she actually believes that'll happen, so she's probably not going to do that. But at some point, we do like to talk to you because because Denise is actually president of the the Pet Stylist Relief Fund. Kayla says she just realized she can cash you into my TV. Wow.
We are TV stars.
Mhm.
We are
Wow.
almost as big as global winning Kayla.
All right, Kayla, still check your settings on Restream to see which mic it's using. If not, I don't know what to tell you. She's just gonna have to mime her answers.
Sounds like.
Okay, so we want to talk about Helene. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows, unless you've been hiding under a rock for the past week. Helene was an absolutely devastating hurricane that tore through Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. All right. Created a whole lot of problems for people. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing, like I said, my daughter's in Georgia, and Noah was clearly telling people, you need to prepare for this. This is going to wreak havoc. And my daughter, who's in Atlanta, ignored it because they never get hurricanes this far up. At best, it's a tropical storm. So she didn't pay attention. I mean, she was really fortunate, okay, that her home didn't sustain any damage while there was flooding in her neighborhood. Okay. She sits on a hill, so any water would come down her really steep driveway and then into the neighbor's backyard because it's just like her property is like this. I told her she needs to move before that kid. Oh, for those who don't know, my daughter did finally have her baby. Wilder Knox, born September 19th, 19 inch, September 19th. He is 8 pounds, 11 ounces. And I told her before that kid gets his driver's license, they really need to move because I just picture a teenager coming down that driveway, just whoosh.
Mm.
So anyway, so there's a lot of need in that whole area. Okay. Now here's the thing that's going to come out in full force. All right. Scammers.
Yeah.
All right. Scammers looking to get money so that they can help the people in need. Scammers who will promise repairs and stuff, just give them some money right now, type of thing. So I'm going to tell you, before you give somebody money for whatever, with all of your best intentions, research it. Make sure you know what you're giving to. There is an
That
organization.
includes names that you know.
Yes.
Check to see what percent actually goes to the people and not administration.
Mhm.
Because in a lot of very common, well-known charities, less than 1% actually happens and goes anywhere. The rest is paying all the people to
Work at the charity. It's
work the charity.
Mhm.
not
So there are charities that everyone is a volunteer, and there are charities where the president
Everybody
of
gets
that
paid.
charity makes $2.4 million every year.
Mhm.
So know where your funds are going and know who's actually giving it to you.
and I am going to say something. And right before we went live, I went on. I'm going to not make this about me and try not to be triggered, because I have been trying to stay under a rock because I was hit by a hurricane and my house was pretty much gutted, decimated a couple years ago. But what I will say regarding that is, if you know someone who was hit personally, or you know their family was hit personally, and they are not asking for help, yeah, they may not. They may not. But don't be afraid to just send them stuff. Send them gift cards to the grocery store, to Home Depot, a Visa gift card, because they may not want to ask. They may not want to set up a GoFundMe. If you know someone personally whose shop is lost, just do it. They're not going to send it back. They may. There's like a 90% chance they don't cry, but they'll be grateful. They'll never forget it. And you know it's going directly to the person. So don't be afraid of embarrassing the person, because having been in that situation, yes, there's embarrassment, but you still needed it. You still really needed it. So, yeah, just.
There are organizations with boots on the ground. Was it World Kitchen? Is that who it is?
Oh,
Hold on.
live Googling again.
Man. Live Googling again. Hold on. I had asked for some information from World Central Kitchen, who is already on the ground providing food. Okay. A lot of the county government. So look at the counties, look at the churches. All right. See what they're offering. I know here in Washington, should be hit with a tsunami or an earthquake, the local Costco has an arrangement with the CERT teams here that should that happen, they basically open up the doors and they could have all the stuff inside the Costco. So look to see what's around. Okay. And I just like I said, I really just want to caution people. It's a very, very emotional time, not to get sucked in. You want to donate money, you want to donate things, just make sure that it's going to where it's actually going to help somebody. Okay.
Mhm.
Moving that along. Okay. What else do we want to talk about, Helene? Oh, Pet Style is really fun. Now there is a couple of organizations within the grooming industry. Okay. it's a groomer supply house. The group of there's like a group of sharpeners and stuff like that.
Yep.
They will take any equipment that you don't want anymore, and they will fix it up. And they are working with the Pet Stylist Relief Fund they'll put it in the hands of people. We'll put it in the hands of people. The only thing is because we are a 501c6, C3.
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 I am the worst at knowing the difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at some of the posts that Denise is posting up there so I can get the correct thing. But anyway, what that means is that we have rules to follow and paperwork to follow. So there is an application process. Okay. We will also be at Fun in the Sun. Okay. We have a table. Barclay was kind enough to give us a table. All right. And we will have, at the very least, applications that you can take for yourself, or you could take and distribute when you go back home to other groomers who didn't make it to Fun in the Sun. Okay. But so anything you want to add, Angie? Angie's our safety person. There is one thing I want to make mention.
Go ahead.
To clean up, okay? Because I've already seen the Facebook reel on it. Okay?
Oh, can I talk about this? Because I've been there. But go ahead, I will. But
All right. Animals that survived are looking for shelter as well. Okay? So that includes wild animals, venomous snakes in that whole region. And I've already seen the reels where people are like trying to clean up their house and uncovering snakes. And the fun one, which the guy opens up his front door and there's an alligator in his house.
Well,
I'm sorry
it is
for
Florida.
laughing.
Yeah, that's just Florida.
But it's Florida.
So the point being, be safe as you can. Okay, Angie, got anything to add to be safe as you can?
Aside from for those not affected by the hurricane, check before you send. If you're going to send things, send them to an organization rather than a singular person, unless you know them personally. And if you are affected by this, don't give your information to anyone for any reason unless it's an organization you know and can check out.
Okay, so being as people we can trust in the industry, okay, Marky James, who's smack in the middle, is collecting money to buy supplies. Okay, the Groomer Supply House, okay, they're collecting equipment. Right, I don't know if they're collecting money, to be really, really honest. Okay. Again, just know where your money is going to make sure that it is indeed going to it. So the big organizations, who is there? All right. If you want to send things, all right, send them to the hospital. Send them to the county offices. There'll be people there who can accept whatever it is you send there. Okay. I don't know. I know during, what was it? The one that Hurricane Sandy. Okay, that was the one that was up here in the New York area. All right. And then after Hurricane Sandy, there was the one in Florida. And don't ask me which one it was in Florida. You guys get way too many hurricanes for me to pinpoint which one. But there were trucking companies that if you got the supplies to the trucking company, they would bring it down into the area.
That was Andrew.
That was Andrew. Okay. So you know what? Maybe contact companies like UPS and FedEx and see if they're doing it, and then look at some of them. Usually they're very proud of what they're doing and they're going to tell you they're doing this.
Right.
because they're going to offer drop-off spots for you to drop things off. Understand, everybody in these places pretty much lost everything, right? There's one town in North Carolina which is right now sitting at the bottom of a lake.
It's gone. It's just absolutely gone.
So no clothes,
No anything.
no anything.
I do know that Elon Musk is turning on communications for 30 days so that everybody can communicate free of charge. He's just like turning it on in that area.
Yeah.
So that they'll at least have that. And they do have boots on the ground with the receivers that they're putting in significant places so people could come and call their loved ones and, communicate with the outside world. Asheville was completely cut off from all humanity, like in a different dimension.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody was more surprised by what happened than the actual city of Asheville, because that never happens.
They're on a mountain.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Flooding doesn't happen on a mountain.
I think they said it was like 2,100 plus some above sea level. It's because of the rain, so much of it pouring on the top of the mountain, and then it all comes down and floods everything.
Well, there were also a couple dam failures,
Mm-hmm.
which didn't help the situation.
Yeah.
So, and just here, this is just me, the preparation person. Okay. There were people who did not think that would ever happen. Asheville never thought this would happen to them. Okay. And yet it did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you to prepare yourself. Know where the dams are, because some of this damage wasn't even, well, technically, yeah, it was Helene, but it was actually dam failure. All right. There are so many dams in this country that are in really poor shape.
And there are dams.
Too many dams. And there are a good portion of the dams are actually privately owned.
Yep.
And that is where the bigger problem is, because if it's not on government land, they don't have to maintain it. So if the dam fails, oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So when everyone's had a minute to think outside of this area, all right, go over to your local emergency management office, find out what the dangers could possibly be. Okay. What dams could cause a havoc for you? Where are you in relation to rail lines? Because that was Ohio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Where these things are and how fast can you get out of town? And the only people I am judging here, okay, are those who left their dogs and cats behind.
Horses in the pasture, just stuck behind gates.
Yeah. So those are the people I'm judging. If you could jump in your car and go, you could have thrown your pets in the car and gone as well.
Mm-hmm. And open up all the gates. They'll seek higher ground. At least give them a chance.
Yeah. So we're all watching the reels. Okay. So, all right, Chris, I hate to put you here since you are actually the only one on here that actually really went through this.
No.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
oh,
Not. It's just a little fresher.
It is fresher.
It's really fresh. It was 2001.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a scab.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I lost my house to 17 feet of water. So, yeah.
And
the water was in the house for 3 days. So nothing was salvageable. They came in with a bulldozer, and you had 5 minutes to get out, and then it was all gone.
And regarding cleanup, even a little bit of standing water is going to do damage and mold and mildew. And when you said cleanup, even if you're like Well, thank God my house is standing. I don't have to demolish anything. It was just, quote unquote, just the basement.
Mm-hmm.
However, what you got to look at is, do you have drywall in your basement? Anywhere there was water for 6 to 12 hours, because it needed to wait till low tide to go out. It takes a while, or sometimes days.
Uh-huh.
Our basement was a couple days because we had a sunk pump. Sunk pumps do jack all when you got that much water. They try. Their little hearts explode trying.
Okay.
So you need the fire department to come pump out your basement. So what I mean in terms of cleanup is not just the dirt and the mud and the damp. It is mold remediation.
Yes.
So
And
there
that
will,
is a danger for
yes.
anyone breathing in that space. Anything that is in there. Like, we couldn't get anything because it was all black mold by the time
Mm-hmm.
the government let the residents back into there was mold, it was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the walls, it was on the furniture, it was on the clothes, it was on the vacuum cleaner, it was on everything.
Like 365 days after people. Like that.
It, and it grows
Yeah.
so fast, and
And the spores go airborne. And here's the thing, even if it doesn't look like that, even if like I had a foot of water, blah, 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 no, it gets in and behind. And that's the real dangerous part. It's when something drastic happens, like the towns that are underwater, like people who've lost their homes, like people who know their houses need to be gutted. Even if the house is standing and it's gutted and you're like, okay, yeah, I gotta do mold. That you kind of, it's kind of obvious. It's the places where it was just the basement, or, well, there was just a foot of water, or it just came up to my shins or my knees, and thank God the house is still standing. You still have to get rid of that drywall.
oh yeah.
Actually,
It's in the air. The humidity carries the spores. It's everywhere on the ceiling, behind the molding, behind everything.
And in the 2x4s that are
mhm.
behind that drywall and in the
Mm-hmm.
insulation
So
behind that.
that is another expense, because while there's stuff you can do yourself, it's safer to hire a company who that is what they specialize in.
Mm-hmm.
They know exactly where to look, where to go. You can say the water was here for X amount of time, and they will know what to do with that,
Mm-hmm.
because that is their specialty.
All right. And for people who can't comprehend how much water went through these homes, my husband and I were sitting on the sofa. We were watching this on the news. Okay. And the ceilings in our living room are 12 foot. Okay. That is not even as high as the water got. So sit in your living room tonight and just realize, like these ceilings right here, I think these are 10-foot ceilings. All
It's
right.
higher than that.
Yeah.
Whole houses coffins from the graveyard, everything just gone whoosh, taken away by this torrential river of muck.
Yeah.
All right. So, Angie, your future house in Florida, how did it fare?
Not an anything, not an ounce of damage. Amy went up the next day, and she's like, your grandma's got to be looking after this place, because so Perry, where I'm moving, not only got hit by the front end of it, in the middle of it, it literally took the center of the hurricane, not once, but twice. So it got it coming, and then it got the back end right behind it.
Mm-hmm.
There was not an ounce of damage on that entire property, aside from some sticks and twigs and things like that came down. A couple trees that were in the woods that surround the property
Hmm.
The older trees, they came down. The house is in
But they came down
perfect,
nowhere near the house. They didn't
nowhere near
get
the
any.
house.
Okay.
It's on a 5-acre property. There was nothing at all for damage, at all.
Fantastic.
Thank God.
A miracle. And even my mortgage guy is like, well, I'm calling because we'll have to reschedule because of the damage. And I'm like, there's no damage. And he's like,
It's not possible.
yeah, and I'm like, no, there's no damage. And he's like, we're going to send out a reappraisal or a re-inspector.
Yeah.
Someone to re-inspect it. And I'm like, go ahead. I have
Okay.
pictures. It's in mint condition. The realtor went out there and was like, what?
He
How?
probably, I guarantee when you first said that, he probably thought a variation of the phrase "stupid Yankee."
Yes.
I'd put money
Yeah.
on it.
Yes.
I put more money than I have on that.
No. You don't understand. There's a hurricane. It hit Perry not once but twice. So no, there will be dead. And I'm like, no, there's not even like a scratch on a window.
All the shingles are good. All the things.
Everything. It's
Mhm.
like, it's perfect. And he's like, what the what? So, yeah.
Wow.
But I chose well. Flood zone X. So it's like the white spot in an ocean of blue on the flood map. It is a brick house because 3 little pigs, they huff and they puff and they try to blow the house down. And it's brick, and it has a metal roof on trusses, so the wind goes up and the wind goes out, but it doesn't lift because it can go right through.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to support snow because it's in Florida.
Fair.
I did not just have that song
Oh,
flow
you
through my
totally
head.
did. You totally did.
Like a tay in a wind.
Like a brick. Folks.
So
Sorry, I had to distract myself.
I have 17 days before I'm a Floridian.
Hmm.
17 days.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
Yes, it is. So,
Oh, and
yeah.
here's another thing too, because 60 Minutes just did an expose on insurance companies, particularly in Florida, particularly with hurricanes. All right, and which the adjuster they sent out came back with one figure, and they chopped it like about 90%. So I don't know how that works, but if you can get a copy or something from the adjuster, I would attempt to do that. So at least you have some paper.
Yeah.
Because you might go in there and find something that was damaged. You never know.
Mm. But that way, when they go back and go, oh, the adjuster said it was this, you can go, no, sir. And here's my receipt saying such.
Yeah.
You
So
should have a copy. You should get a copy from the adjuster, as well as be CC'd when they submit to the insurance company.
yeah, so at the very least, I mean, nobody's printing out anything, all right? But it can go to your email.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very easy to CC everybody on everything at this point.
Okay, and here's the thing too, if it goes to your email, create a specific folder in your mail that says adjuster's report and stick it there.
Yes. Saved for forever. So it will
Yes.
never be deleted. And you can even save that adjuster's report on your hard drive, on your external hard drive, wherever it needs to be. So,
Well, I'm guessing a lot of people don't have working electronics so much at the moment.
right.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to. Um,
Bless you.
I will not
Bless
be.
you.
Bless you. I'll not be here next week because I will be, in fact, while this is airing next Tuesday, I am going to have baby time.
Finally, huh?
Yep. So have fun.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and then after that, it's fun in the sun. So again, if you're going to fun in the sun and you have damage, please fill out an application. If you're coming to fun in the sun and you have friends who have had damage, have them fill out an application. Okay. And get it back to us. We are a little limited because literally, we got the 501 3C whatever designation like 2 days ago. Okay. We're working on getting a bank account so we can actually like disperse money.
Mhm.
You can still donate because it's going into either Venmo or Square until we get the bank account set up.
And for those of you who are not already supplied up, the port closures are perhaps going to affect us if they don't become to some agreement quickly. So gently go out into the night and get a small amount of supplies so that there's some for everyone. Try not to hoard, but get enough. Yeah, get enough for your immediate people that you're responsible for, and then just be vigilant and add to that supply little bit by little bit instead of trying to get everything all at once. I think that's the best course of action. We don't know how long that's going to last. Hopefully, it's days and not weeks or months. But absolutely be safe in your family. Get a minimal amount of supplies to carry you through, and just be safe and help one another if you possibly can. I think that's just going to ease everybody. We're all under stress. So get through it with some love and some grace for everyone, I would think.
All right. So Angie, you're going to wrap up, and I
Yes.
will see everybody probably in 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
All
This week's weekly weird facts, thanks to Michelle, are on pygmy hippos.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
All right, so pygmy hippos are solitary, unlike their hippo counterparts, where there are many of them. They spend 6 hours a day eating. And okay, hold on, wait a minute. All right, so they are herbivores, and they do spend 6 hours a day eating. They are endangered, with less than 3,000 in existence. And unlike common hippos, they swim.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
Rather than bounce through the water, they actually swim.
Their little feet are shaped different.
Yeah, their feet are more like paddles, and they swim through the water, whereas what they call common hippo bounces through the water, and they just do this when they're under the water. But they're adorable.
I'd have an adult in the backyard if I absolutely.
Yeah, well, see, I'm moving to Florida, and it is a nice, humid area. And I have 5 acres of land. I could put a very nice pool, nice jungle area.
Angie, no. They don't live here.
They actually live.
This is all I heard when you started talking.
I love the pygmy hippo. Yes, that's one of my favorite songs.
So what you just told all of us is that it is technically possible. Oh!
Yeah, they're like a quarter of the size. They're herbivores, where the common hippos are actually very aggressive. The pygmy hippos are not. They're actually very sweet by nature, but can be quite skittish. So, and they kind of look like pugs.
Juicy watermelony pugs.
Yeah. Juicy watermelony pugs. So, all right. Thanks for coming, guys. Stay safe out there. And
Help each other whenever possible.
yes. All right. Take care.